To imagine a world where BRICS becomes a single country, now expanded to include 11 nations after the 2024 expansion, it is necessary to consider the immense complexity of such a union. The 5 founding BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are now joined by the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Argentina. These 11 nations, spread across 4 continents, would form one of the largest, most diverse, and complex geopolitical entities on the planet. This exploration of the hypothetical BRICS superstate will delve into various aspects of this enormous, unified country: political geography, administrative divisions, physical geography, economic structure, history, art and culture, demographics, science and technology, military power, international relationships, law and governance, space science, future advancements, tourism, architecture, and natural beauty. We will also examine the nation's vast landscapes, heritage, and ecological significance. Political geography. The BRICS superstate would span 4 continents: South America, Asia, Africa, and Europe, with a combined landmass of over 39 million square kilometers, making it the largest country by land area, surpassing Russia's current size. Geographically, this country would cover a variety of climatic zones and landscapes, from tropical rainforests to vast deserts and towering mountain ranges. Its geopolitical position would be incredibly strategic, with access to several major oceans and seas, including the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean Sea. Its borders would touch numerous countries, giving it tremendous influence over global trade routes and geopolitical affairs. The BRICS superstate would also encompass key global choke points such as the Strait of Hormuz, controlled by Iran, and the Suez Canal through Egypt, giving it leverage over global oil supplies and international shipping lanes. Administrative divisions. Given its size and diversity, the BRICS superstate would likely be divided into several administrative regions or provinces. These could be grouped based on geography, culture, or economic strengths. For example, South America region, Brazil and Argentina could form the core of the South American administrative region given their proximity and economic ties. Eurasian region, Russia, China, and India would form the backbone of this region, representing the largest landmass and population centers. Middle East and North Africa, MENA region. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, and Iran would form a critical geopolitical and energy-producing bloc within the country. Sub-Saharan Africa region, South Africa and Ethiopia could form the African Administrative Division, representing 2 of the most economically and politically significant countries in Africa. Each region would likely have a degree of autonomy to manage local issues while adhering to the central government's overarching policies. Physical geography. The BRICS superstate would be characterized by stunning geographical diversity. Brazil's Amazon rainforest, the largest in the world, would coexist alongside the arid deserts of Saudi Arabia and Iran. The towering Himalayas in India and China would contrast with the sprawling savannas and plateaus of Africa. Major physical landmarks would include Mount Everest, shared by China and India, the world's tallest peak; the Amazon River in Brazil, one of the largest river systems globally; the vast Siberian plains in Russia; the Nile River, flowing through Egypt and Ethiopia, the world's longest river; the Gobi Desert in China; the Andes Mountains in Argentina. This diversity of landscapes would offer not only immense natural resources, but also challenges in terms of infrastructure development and environmental preservation. The BRICS superstate would become the largest economy in the world, surpassing both the United States and the European Union in terms of GDP and purchasing power parity, or PPP. Combining the resources, labor force, and industrial capacities of 11 major countries, this entity would dominate global markets in energy, manufacturing, agriculture, and technology. Key industries would include energy. The superstate would control vast oil reserves in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Russia and Iran, along with coal, natural gas, and renewable energy resources in China, Brazil, and South Africa. Agriculture. Brazil, India, and Argentina would form the agricultural backbone, producing major crops like soybeans, corn, sugar, rice, and wheat. Technology and manufacturing. China, India, and Russia would lead in technology development, electronics manufacturing, and heavy industries. China's technological expertise in electronics and India's burgeoning IT sector would make the BRICS superstate a technological powerhouse. Mining and natural resources. South Africa, Brazil, and Russia would lead in mining sectors, including diamonds, gold, and other precious metals. A common currency or a robust trade agreement could be implemented, facilitating intra-superstate trade and reducing dependency on the US dollar. The BRICS superstate would draw upon a collective history that spans millennia. The ancient civilizations of Egypt, China, and India are among the oldest in human history. The region also encompasses significant historical empires like the Russian Empire, the Persian Empire in Iran, and the Ottoman Empire, which influenced Egypt and the Middle East. Each country within the BRICS superstate has experienced unique historical events that shaped its political, cultural, and social fabric. For example, India's struggle for independence from British colonial rule and the subsequent formation of the world's largest democracy. China's transformation from an imperial dynasty to a communist superpower under Mao Zedong and its modern rise as a global economic force. Russia's imperial past, the Russian Revolution, the Soviet Union's rise and fall, and its resurgence under modern leadership. Brazil's journey from a Portuguese colony to the leading economy in South America. South Africa's apartheid history and its remarkable transition to democracy under Nelson Mandela's leadership. The ancient pharaonic civilizations of Egypt, the Persian Empire in Iran, and the rise of the Islamic caliphates influencing the Middle East. Together, these countries bring an incredibly rich and varied historical legacy that would provide a deep cultural and historical foundation for the superstate. The BRICS superstate would boast an unparalleled diversity of art and culture, blending centuries-old traditions with modern innovation. The confluence of African, Asian, Middle Eastern, and Latin American influences would create a cultural melting pot unlike any other. Music and dance. From Brazil's samba and Argentina's tango to India's classical dances like Bharatanatyam and Russia's ballet, the cultural vibrancy would be immense. Cinematic influence. Bollywood in India, Nollywood in Nigeria, which is adjacent to BRICS, and Chinese cinema would dominate global entertainment markets, producing films that reflect a blend of Eastern and Western influences. Literature. Writers from this superstate would include giants like Leo Tolstoy from Russia, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, influencing the region from neighboring Colombia, and Rabindranath Tagore from India, along with a new generation of authors influenced by globalized culture. Architecture. The architectural landscape would range from the pyramids of Giza in Egypt and the Taj Mahal in India to the futuristic skyscrapers of Dubai and Shanghai. The BRICS superstate would likely have a cultural ministry dedicated to preserving the diverse artistic heritage of each region while fostering cultural exchanges across the nation. Demographics. With a population exceeding 3.6 billion, the BRICS superstate would be home to nearly half of the world's population. It would encompass the world's two most populous countries, China and India, with populations over 1.4 billion each. Diverse ethnic and linguistic groups, including Han Chinese, Indo-Aryan, Arab, Slavic, and Bantu peoples. A multitude of religions, Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and traditional African religions would coexist, along with secular and modern spiritual movements. This immense demographic diversity would pose both challenges and opportunities in terms of governance, national identity, and social integration. The state would need robust policies to manage multiculturalism, linguistic diversity with potentially dozens of official languages, and equitable resource distribution. Science, technology, and education development. The BRICS superstate would have a formidable scientific and technological base. China, India, and Russia already possess advanced research infrastructures, while Brazil and South Africa are making strides in areas like renewable energy and space exploration. Education. The superstate would host world-class universities in China, India, and Russia, fostering collaboration across borders in STEM fields. It would also need to invest in improving educational access in Africa and South America. Technology. China would lead in areas like artificial intelligence, robotics, and 5G technology, while India's strength in IT services and space technology would complement Russia's expertise in aerospace engineering. Research and innovation. With a combined investment in research and development, the BRICS superstate could drive innovations in clean energy, biotechnology, and advanced materials. Military and defense power. The BRICS superstate would undoubtedly have the world's largest and most powerful military, combining the resources and personnel of 11 nations with significant military capabilities. Nuclear powers, Russia, China, and India already possess nuclear weapons, making the superstate a dominant nuclear power. Conventional forces. The superstate would have the largest standing army drawn from China, India, and Russia, along with significant military forces from Brazil, South Africa, and the Middle East. Defense industry. Russia, China, and India are major arms producers, providing the superstate with a self-sufficient defense apparatus, from advanced fighter jets to nuclear submarines. Each country contributes specialized strengths. Russia, with its legacy of military hardware production, China with its burgeoning tech-driven military innovations, and India's growing aerospace and defense capabilities. Strategic locations. The BRICS superstate would control strategic military outposts globally. Russia's presence in the Arctic and Eastern Europe, India's control over the Indian Ocean, and the strategic naval ports in Saudi Arabia and the UAE would ensure global military reach. The Suez Canal and the Strait of Hormuz, under the control of Egypt and Iran respectively, would offer the superstate dominance over key global maritime choke points. The BRICS superstate would likely establish a combined military command structure, integrating defense strategies, technological innovations, and personnel across its various regions. Joint military exercises, shared intelligence networks, and advanced weaponry systems would ensure that this superstate could rival or even surpass existing military alliances like NATO. International relationships. As a single country, the BRICS superstate would reshape the global geopolitical landscape. Its relations with the rest of the world would be based on its immense economic and military power, making it a key player in international affairs. Global diplomacy. The BRICS superstate would hold seats of significant influence in global organizations such as the United Nations, where it could command several permanent Security Council seats if reforms occur, the World Trade Organization, and the International Monetary Fund. It would likely drive the agenda for reforms in these institutions to reflect its interests more directly. Relationships with major powers. The relationship between the BRICS superstate and existing superpowers such as the United States and the European Union would be a delicate balance of cooperation and competition. The superstate's sheer size and economic weight would give it tremendous leverage in negotiations on trade, climate change, and security. Meanwhile, military and economic rivalries with the US and EU could lead to tensions over issues such as energy dominance, technological competition, and global governance. Regional influence. In Africa, South America, and Asia, the BRICS superstate would likely assert dominance over regional organizations like the African Union, ASEAN, and Mercosur. The Middle East and African regions, with Saudi Arabia, Iran, and Egypt playing pivotal roles, would give the superstate influence in OPEC and energy markets. Its foreign policy might focus on enhancing South-South cooperation, reducing Western influence in developing countries and promoting a multipolar world order. The BRICS superstate would also have strong ties with other emerging powers and regional leaders like Turkey, Indonesia, and Nigeria, potentially forming new global alliances to challenge Western dominance. Law, administration, and governance. Administering such a massive and diverse nation would present formidable governance challenges. The BRICS superstate would need to create a hybrid governance system that accommodates regional autonomy while ensuring national unity. Central government, a federal or confederal system, would likely emerge, with the central government managing foreign policy, defense, currency, and large-scale infrastructure projects. The central government could be based in a new capital city, potentially a politically neutral location within the superstate, such as South Africa or Ethiopia, to avoid the dominance of any one region. Legal systems. With legal traditions ranging from common law, India, South Africa, and civil law, Brazil, Russia, to Islamic law, Saudi Arabia, Iran, the superstate would need to harmonize its legal frameworks while allowing for regional differences in matters of personal law, marriage, inheritance, etc. Civil rights and freedoms. Ensuring civil liberties in such a diverse country would be a major challenge. Balancing human rights with security concerns, especially in regions with political unrest, would require careful governance. Issues like freedom of speech, religious freedom, and women's rights would be debated across the different regions, especially in the Middle East and Africa. Decentralization regions would likely have their own local governments, retaining control over education, healthcare, and local law enforcement. This would allow each part of the superstate to preserve its cultural and administrative identity while contributing to the national government. Space science. With Russia, China, and India already possessing robust space programs, the BRICS superstate would have an impressive space exploration capacity. Russia's Roscosmos, with its rich history in space travel, would continue to provide expertise in human spaceflight and space station management. China's CNSA would lead the way in satellite technology, lunar exploration, and space station construction. China has made rapid advances, particularly with its Tiangong space station and its Chang'e missions to the moon. India's ISRO would bring its cost-effective approach to space exploration, including its experience with Mars exploration through the Mangalyaan mission and lunar missions like Chandrayaan. The BRICS superstate could spearhead ambitious new space initiatives, including the potential establishment of a permanent lunar base or Mars exploration. With combined resources, the superstate might surpass even NASA in terms of space capabilities. There would also be significant collaboration in the development of satellite-based technologies for weather forecasting, defense, and communications. Future advancements. The BRICS superstate would be poised for rapid technological and scientific advancements, driven by its vast resources and talent pool. Green technology. The superstate would likely focus on clean energy, especially given the vast renewable resources of Brazil's hydropower and China's solar energy capabilities. As climate change becomes a pressing issue, the superstate could lead global efforts in carbon reduction, given its control over the Amazon rainforest and access to renewable energy. Healthcare innovation. With India and China already emerging as global hubs for pharmaceutical research, the superstate would drive innovation in medical research, including biotechnology, vaccine development, and healthcare delivery. There could also be significant investments in eradicating diseases prevalent in African and South American regions. Artificial intelligence and robotics. China's leadership in AI and robotics, coupled with India's IT talent, would position the BRICS superstate at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution. Advanced AI systems would be integrated into industries ranging from healthcare to defense, while robotics would revolutionize manufacturing and logistics. Travel and tourism. With its breathtaking natural beauty and diverse cultures, The BRICS Superstate would become a major global tourist destination. Tourists would flock to iconic sites like the Great Wall of China and Forbidden City in Beijing, the Taj Mahal in India, and the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, the vibrant cities of Rio de Janeiro and Buenos Aires in South America, Cape Town's Table Mountain in South Africa, the bustling streets of Dubai, and the ancient cities of Isfahan in Iran. The BRICS Superstate would likely promote tourism through a common visa system, similar to the Schengen area in Europe, making travel easier for tourists across the vast nation. Architecturally, the BRICS Superstate would reflect a mixture of ancient and modern designs. Each region would showcase its unique heritage, skyscrapers in Shanghai and Dubai, representing modern economic prowess. Moscow's Red Square and St. Basil's Cathedral, reflecting Russia's historic and religious traditions. South Africa's Apartheid Museum and India's Jaipur City Palace, capturing rich cultural narratives. Modern infrastructure projects like high-speed railways and megadams would also be hallmarks of this superstate's development. The construction of new cities and technological hubs, particularly in Africa and the Middle East, would be a key part of urban planning efforts. The BRICS Superstate would house several of the world's most advanced cities. Shanghai and Beijing would continue to be global hubs for finance, technology, and manufacturing. Mumbai and Bengaluru would be centers for IT, finance, and innovation. Dubai would remain a futuristic metropolis with cutting-edge architecture and technology. Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro would drive South America's industrial and tourism sectors. Johannesburg would be a leading city in Africa for finance and culture. These cities would likely be connected through an advanced transportation network, including high-speed rail and hyperloop technologies, making them key nodes in the global economy. The BRICS Superstate would be home to some of the world's most stunning natural wonders, including the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, a biodiversity hotspot crucial for global climate stability. The Himalayas in India and China, the tallest mountain range in the world. The Serengeti Plains and Kruger National Park in South Africa, home to some of the planet's most iconic wildlife. The Andes Mountains in Argentina and Pantanal wetlands in Brazil, offering some of the most diverse ecosystems in the world. The Rub al Khali Desert in Saudi Arabia and Dasht-e-Kavir Desert in Iran. Expansive desert landscapes unique in their ecological significance. These areas would be crucial for ecotourism, conservation efforts, and climate research. With such a vast geographic range, the BRICS Superstate would have one of the most ecologically diverse territories on the planet. It would encompass rainforests, deserts, tundras, grasslands, and coral reefs. This rich biodiversity would offer both environmental challenges and opportunities. Biodiversity hotspots: Brazil's Amazon, South Africa's Fynbos, and China's river ecosystems would represent some of the richest areas of biodiversity. Conservation: the superstate would need to implement robust strategies to protect these invaluable natural resources, ensuring a balance between development and ecological preservation. The state would need to prioritize conservation efforts to protect these natural treasures. The Amazon rainforest alone plays a critical role in regulating global climate patterns, acting as a carbon sink and a key habitat for countless species. Likewise, the Himalayas, with their glaciers and high-altitude ecosystems, provide water to millions of people across Asia. Conservation policies would need to address issues like deforestation, habitat destruction, and climate change. Environmental challenges. Due to its large size and industrial base, the BRICS superstate would face severe environmental challenges. Industrial pollution from China and India, deforestation in Brazil, desertification in the Middle East, and water scarcity in parts of Africa would require unified and sustainable solutions. Large-scale reforestation projects, sustainable agricultural practices, and clean energy development would be essential. Ecological collaboration. The BRICS Superstate could lead global environmental initiatives, leveraging the ecological diversity of its regions to conduct scientific research on biodiversity, climate change, and sustainable development. Collaborative efforts could create new environmental policies that balance economic growth with ecological preservation. Vastness and diversifying landscapes. The BRICS Superstate's landscape diversity is unparalleled, ranging from the lush rainforests of Brazil to the frozen tundras of Siberia. Its geographic vastness would provide numerous resources and opportunities for development. However, it would also pose logistical and infrastructural challenges due to the sheer size and variety of terrain. Geographical extent. The superstate would stretch from the frozen Arctic regions of Russia to the scorching deserts of Saudi Arabia. From the Andes in Argentina to the Indian Ocean coastline of South Africa, the nation's vastness would mean vastly different climatic conditions and developmental needs. Resource diversity. The BRICS superstate would be rich in natural resources, including oil, gas, minerals, and agricultural products. The varied climates and landscapes would support a wide range of economic activities, from agriculture in the fertile plains of India and Argentina to oil extraction in Saudi Arabia and Russia. This diversity would make the BRICS superstate a microcosm of the Earth's natural environments, giving it unique challenges in terms of climate management, disaster preparedness, and sustainable development. An efficient transport and communication network would be essential to connect its diverse regions and manage this massive territory effectively. Heritage, culture, and history as a single vast, diverse nation. The BRICS superstate would encompass millennia of history, countless cultural traditions, and some of the world's most significant historical landmarks. Its cultural heritage would be an incredibly rich mosaic of different civilizations, languages, religions, and artistic traditions, each contributing to the unique identity of the superstate. Historical legacy. The combined history of the BRICS nations is remarkable. From the pharaonic civilization of Egypt to the Mughal Empire in India, the Romanov dynasty in Russia, the dynasties of China, and the pre-Columbian civilizations of South America, the superstate would embody a rich tapestry of human history. World Heritage Sites. The BRICS superstate would be home to dozens of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the Taj Mahal, the Great Wall of China, the Pyramids of Giza, St. Petersburg's Historic Center, Rio de Janeiro's Carioca landscapes, and Persepolis in Iran. Preserving these sites would be crucial for both cultural identity and tourism. Cultural festivals. Each region would bring its own traditional festivals, such as Diwali in India, Carnival in Brazil, Chinese New Year, Eid celebrations in the Middle East, and Nowruz in Iran. These festivals would be celebrated across the superstate, promoting cultural exchange and national unity. Cultural policy. The superstate would likely establish a national body to preserve and promote the cultural heritage of its regions. This would include protection for indigenous languages, historical landmarks, and traditional art forms. Through national education programs, the government could foster a shared sense of pride in the country's collective heritage, while also celebrating regional differences. Conclusion. A BRICS superstate as a global superpower. In conclusion, a BRICS superstate, incorporating the 11 countries from the 2024 expansion, would be an entity of unparalleled size, diversity, and influence. Spanning 4 continents, it would represent nearly half of the global population, control vast natural resources, and command enormous economic and military power. This hypothetical union would dominate global trade, energy markets, and technological innovation. Its scientific and educational advancements would drive the next wave of human progress, while its military power would ensure security in a multipolar world. The superstate's geographical diversity, from tropical rainforests to arid deserts, would create both challenges and opportunities in terms of development, infrastructure, and environmental conservation. Culturally, the BRICS Superstate would be one of the most diverse nations ever created, blending ancient civilizations with modern innovations. Its rich heritage, from the pyramids of Egypt to the Great Wall of China, would offer endless opportunities for cultural exchange and tourism. However, this superstate would face significant challenges. Managing such a diverse population would require a complex governance structure that balances regional autonomy with national unity. Environmental degradation, political tensions, and economic inequality would all be issues that the superstate would need to address through careful planning and cooperation. Ultimately, a BRICS superstate would not just be a country. It would be a global superpower, reshaping the world order and influencing every aspect of international relations, from diplomacy and defense to trade and technology. Its future would depend on its ability to harmonize the vast differences within its borders while asserting itself as a leading force on the global stage.